Good morning students, welcome back to your history video lecture. Now in the last video lecture, we completed the topic about kinship in ancient Indian society. While doing so, we looked at various themes and topics associated with it. Okay, we spoke about the family, the idea of patrilineal and matrilineal associated with it, and why was the idea of patrilineal so important, especially for ruling elites or the wealthy family of ancient Indian society. Then we further looked into the rules of marriages that were expected to be followed in Brahmanical society, and why was there a need to codify these rules of marriage. But in spite of these codification of rules, there was a scope for deviation from these rules. The same applies to the notion of Gotra also. We saw what were the rules that defined the functioning of Gotra, especially with respect to marriage. But we again looked into how the Satavahanas, the ruling dynasty of Satavahanas, how they found a way out from these rules and they practiced their own lifestyle in spite of claiming to be Brahmins. Finally, we saw how an ancient Indian society viewed their mothers to be. Okay, so the mothers were considered important, but their advice was not usually binding on sons. So we move on to the next theme of the social history in ancient India, that is the caste system, how it originated, how it was propagated, and whether or not there was any variations or deviations from the prescribed norms of caste system. We will be answering these questions as we move along this topic. So caste is defined as a set of hierarchically ordered social category. It's given in your book, kindly underline it. It's very important. We'll try to understand this term by breaking it down. So what are the social category we are talking about? Remember when we was doing other video lessons, I specifically mentioned there are different units within a society. That unit can be of family, of relative, kinship, then gotra can be a unit. Caste was also supposed to be a unit in that. Okay, so this social unit or social category started as a unit or a category defining occupation. Okay, शुरुआत कैसे हुआ था caste system का? That it firstly defined occupation rather than the hereditary group you were born in. नहीं, hereditary बनने से पहले what did we look into? The occupation that a group was supposed to follow. And what does hierarchically ordered means? It means one group following this occupation was based on the top and other groups were based at the bottom of it. तो वही hierarchy था, top से bottom तक का. So this caste system, which began as a much more fluid varna system based on occupation, came into existence in the Vedic period. ठीक है, तो ये किसका देन है? Vedic period का देन है. And how do we come to know about it? Because there are specific mantras in the Rig Veda which mention about it. So it is given in the source 6th of your book. Kindly read it. So it is giving the origin story of the Varna or caste system. So it defines that a primeval man, some books say that this primeval man was a form of Brahmadev himself. Others says that he was a primordial man constructed or made by Lord Brahma. So when this primeval man was sacrificed, out of him, out of the 4 parts of his body, this caste groups emerged. Okay, the various caste groups, the 4 caste groups emerged. The Brahmins originated from the head, or you can say the mouth of this primeval Purusha or man, implying the wisdom, okay, and the power of knowledge granted to these groups of people, especially the Brahmins. Then the Kshatriyas emerged from the arms of this primeval man, denoting their strength. Hindi में बोले तो बाहुबल. Okay. Then you had the third group within the Varna system called the Vaishyas, who emerged from the thighs of this primeval man. And finally you had the Shudras emerging from the feet of this Purusha, signifying their much less important position given to them. So the origin story was given in the Rig Veda, but the ideal occupation to be followed by these specific groups was laid down in Dharma Sutras or Dharma Shastras that were compiled by or written by Brahmins. So all these ideal occupations are given in your book. Kindly go through them and underline them one by one. So the Brahmins were supposed to study and teach the Vedas, perform sacrifices. Sacrifices means yagya, and gets sacrifices performed. And they were supposed to give and receive gifts. इसी गिफ्ट्स को दक्षिणा बोलते हैं जो ब्राह्मण्स को दिया जाता था. Then you have the second order, that was the Kshatriyas, who were supposed to engage in warfare. They were supposed to protect people and administer justice. Because of these qualities, which involved protecting people and administering justice, it implied that the Kshatriyas were the ideal social group to become rulers of a particular kingdom or empire. Then even they had the right to study Vedas, and finally they could get sacrifices performed. खुद से नहीं कर सकते थे. Whom would they assign this job to? Obviously the Brahmins, who were well versed with Vedas. And eventually it is these Vedic rituals which are supposed to be spoken while performing sacrifices. That is why Brahmins were the ones performing these sacrifices. Finally, they had the authority to make gifts, that is, make donations. So yahi wala logic follow karke, if you see the rulers, they granted land grants to Brahmins and other institution. वो grants समझ में आया, यहीं से है. The next category of people were the Vaishyas. Now keep this in mind, it is this community which engaged in agriculture, craftspeople and trading. So just because they became merchants eventually or were involved in trading, obviously they would have a lot of wealth with them. ठीक है, though hierarchically in the social order they are not placed very highly, they come third, the position wise third है, but money उनके पास है. So because of this money power, they were granted some relief in this order, in this social order. What was that? They were allowed to study the Vedas, they could get sacrifices performed, and finally because of being rich, or being well off, you can say, they were able to give gifts to Brahmins or make religious donations. Finally, at the last rung of social ladder, you had the Shudras. Okay, so the Shudras had just one duty, that was to serve the other higher three Varnas, that is the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas. Now even below Shudras, you had a group of people who were called untouchables. So नाम से ही समझ में आ जाता होगा that वो हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, why the caste system has so much of छुआछूत ingrained in them. Why? Because someone at the bottom of this caste hierarchy was considered to be so impure that they were not allowed to be touched to. What were the strategies adopted by Brahmins to ensure that these rules about occupational groups or the Varna system or the caste system was followed or adhered to strictly? The first one was by asserting that the Varna system had a divine origin. Remember the divine origin theory which we always speak about. अगर divinely ordained है, it becomes difficult for people to rebel against it. Whether it's a person who is divinely ordained, that is a ruler who is divinely ordained, or an order which is divinely ordained, it just becomes difficult to dismantle it. So what was the first strategy? By announcing that this Varna system was divinely ordained, as mentioned in the Rig Veda. Second, it became the duty of the king, that is, it became a king's dharma to uphold the social order, okay, and he was even entitled to punish anyone who tried to trespass this order. ठीक है, so एक king का duty बना देने से the king ensured that it was followed to the book, and if a person tried to trespass it, he would be punished. This was the social justice given by the kings of ancient India. And the final strategy was to convince the people that this status, this caste system was predetermined, that is, determined by birth. How were people persuaded to follow this? By instilling in them the notion that the caste you are born in, the caste group that you are born in, this life is a result of your actions of past life, मतलब पूर्व जन्मों का फल है. So by reiterating this notion into people through the different stories, especially those told in Mahabharata, the Brahmins ensured that it get instilled in the minds of people. मतलब लोगों के दिमाग में घर कर जाए इतना बार बोलना है, through different means or different mediums, especially that of stories.